Hello, and thank you for joining us for this presentation of the MicroStrategies Accounts Payable solution using Alfresco. Now, what you're looking at right now is an accounts payable site. This is where a lot of the activities happened for this solution. Now, this particular demonstration is going to be made up of 4 different short videos. The first one on the AP Profiler, that's document intake, how we tag that information that is not already assigned to the document. Security Manager, which is dealing with security. The dashboard, which is the ability to go off and track what's going on with those documents, and of course being able to search for those documents. So let's dive into the accounts payable profiler. Now, based on your solution, was going to be determining how those documents arrive in the system. It could be via bulk scanning, it could be emailed in, it could be drag and drop manually, it could be sent in by another system. So the key is the documents could get there a number of different ways. Now in this example, you see on the right, here's the first page. Here's multiple pages on the right-hand side, so you can scroll through those. On the left-hand side, you have the metadata, the properties, if you will. Now, by default, it'll show you the next document to be processed, but of course you can filter based on anything from where it came from, okay, to different company information. Now the next thing is of course the ability to assign the vendor. Now depending on how it came in, that information may automatically be pulled from the document, lifted off if you will. If you look down here, say invoice number and invoice date and invoice amount and due date, this is information that can be grabbed right from the document. In this case, these were grabbed directly from the document. All right. Now, if I come up here, let's go back to the vendor lookup. I've got vendor name right here. Let's do a lookup. Now I'm going to grab another vendor, purposes of just showing you the lookup. I click the hourglass, and it does a lookup into, in this case, Oracle Financials. So this did a lookup in Oracle Financials when using 2K as the starting point. Here's the vendor name, and you'll see a lot of information that came out of Oracle Financials to identify the vendor, to make sure you got the right vendor. So I'll choose the vendor, and I'll click OK. And what you'll notice down here is all that information is automatically assigned to this particular document. That way it can be searched on later. All right. And of course, I can attach my doc type and the other information that makes up this document. All right. Everything in here will be searchable because it's searchable metadata. I travel down to allocation amount. The idea here is sometimes that bottom line invoice number, the amount if you will, is not assigned to one cost center. So you want to be able to allocate it across cost centers. So I go to my allocation, I hit add row, and now based on line type and so forth, there's all sorts of fields that one can then add to be able to allocate numbers or dollars, if you will, from that invoice to the appropriate cost center. And what's displayed here is purely based on your configuration. Could be number, could be name, description. It all depends on how you need to have that information displayed in order to allocate the appropriate amount. All right. The fields displayed also a configurable piece. And this is all being pulled live from the Oracle Financial System. Now, if I travel down here, you've got other capabilities. I can save the document. I can send notifications. I can email users about this document, add comments, all sorts of features you can take advantage of. And then, of course, when you're done doing your information regarding the allocation or assigning metadata, you can send it to the next queue. This can be done automatically by business rules, or it can be done by selecting who gets that document next. And when I'm done, I just hit finish and the document is processed. In this brief video, we're going to demonstrate the dashboard. So I'm going to click here on dashboard, and it's going to take me to the AP dashboard. And from here, there's a number of different ways to get to the set of invoices we want to see what's going on with. Company name, vendor, select status, or even amount variables. So for purposes of this demonstration, it's going to hit 2K, our friends at 2K, vendor name lookup, goes in Oracle Financials, pulls back the information it knows about. I click OK, and here's that information, validates the right vendor. Because as you would imagine, you can have multiple vendors in this if you want to search on a whole bunch of vendors. You keep adding to this list for your dashboard. But once I've got the vendors I want, or companies, based on my criteria, I just click search. Now, it'll break up by legal entity, and this is sometimes done by legal entity. It's broken up by department. So depending on what you need to look like, the dashboard could be a list of all the invoices or broken down by certain departments. Okay. Now this is the vendor we chose, as you remember, it's the vendor up here. And here's the outstanding invoices, overdue, do less than 5 days, 6 to 10, of course, greater than 10 days, and then total. This is all configurable based on your needs. Okay, in this example, of course, only one invoice handy. I'm going to click on the number. So when I click on the number, it drills down to the actual list of invoices that make up that number for that vendor. So that's here. I can click on the actual invoice and view it. I can also hit export to Excel, and that will give me an export to Excel of the list of these items. In this third video, we're going to touch base on searching. So here we are again at our accounts payable site, and I'm going to click on search. And of course, the objective with search is to be able to find the various documents. Now we've got two levels of search. We've got simple, which allows you to simply enter an invoice number or enter some text, and it'll search for just the invoice number. Or if you put text in, it'll search the document properties or content search. So really, this is your quick search. Enter an invoice number, hit search, get to that document. The other search capability is the advanced search. Here's where you have the ability to search all of the different metadata fields that are assigned to your documents. So we'll go to our friends at 2K for vendor name, and I'll hit search. And it'll go into Oracle Financials. It'll grab that particular information about the vendor. I select it. And of course, I can have multiple vendors, if you will, here. So if I want to get all the invoices for these vendors, you can put 3 or 4 vendors in there, and it'll grab the invoices for all those vendors. And here's other metadata you can add as far as criteria, classification and type, company, all the different information. And again, this is also configured based on your needs. We start with these, but based on your needs, this list may change, as well as, of course, being able to see the queue they're in terms of approvals or status of that particular document. And then down here, text inside the document allows you to do the full text search. So you can combine your metadata search with your full text search. So in this simple example, I'm just grabbing some invoices on this particular vendor. I click search. Up pops that document. From here, I can view the document. I can also review the properties of that document. Now, if I've got my list here, if I want, I could actually hit export to PDF, which will take all these documents, convert them into one PDF document, or I can do export to Excel, similar to what you saw in the dashboard. But of course, this export to Excel will export your result list. A lot of times people will use these together to create the Excel spreadsheet that is your list of invoices, a manifest, if you will, and then export to PDF would glue all those invoices together into one PDF document. So this is your advanced search, your simple search, and of course your result page.